Please join me in our responsive reading, number 531, the Oversoul. Let us learn the revelation of all nature and thought, that the highest dwells within us, that the sources of nature are in our own minds. I'm constrained every moment to acknowledge a higher origin for events than the will I call mine. Every moment when the individual feels invaded by it is memorable. The soul's health consists in the fullness of its reception. Within us all is the soul of the whole, the wise silence, the universal beauty, to which every part and particle is equally related, the eternal one. Creativity and art. Art has been a form of human expression for centuries, transcending time and culture. It can evoke emotions, tell stories, and inspire change. But beyond its aesthetic appeal, it also holds a profound ability to heal and promote mental well-being. Art is an important part of life as it helps us to explore our creativity and express ourselves in unique ways. However, it's more than just a form of expression. It's an expression of human experience, and its value lies in the ability to bring people together. It's a way of understanding the world and our place in it. It can take many forms, from paintings and sculptures to photography and now even digital art. Art has the power to move us, to make us feel something, and to tell stories. Moreover, it can be used as a way of connecting with ourselves and with each other. And its power lies in the ability to inspire, create joy, and provoke thought. The value of art lies in its ability to evoke emotion. Whether you're looking at a painting, watching a performance, or listening to music, art allows us to experience a range of emotions from joy to sorrow and everything in between. It can help us make sense of our own emotions and gain a better understanding of how other people are feeling. It can even bring us closer together as it enables us to feel connected with the artist, even if we have never met them. When we interact with art, it can often spark a dialogue, creating a feeling of understanding and empathy within us. Pablo Picasso believed, and I quote, Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. Our creative souls need nurturing and understanding. I believe that we are each creative with important gifts to share, words to speak and write, lights to shine on ourselves and others. But as adults fulfilling various roles in society, many of us often feel very creative. When it comes to creating art, we feel even less so. Moreover, long ago, too many of us accepted the notion that I can't draw, or I don't have an artistic bone in my body. At some point, often in childhood, we came to believe that other people could be artistic, but not us. It's hard for many of us to put ourselves in such company as poets and painters and photographers, authors and dancers, because our creativity doesn't seem to match up. How do we explain? How do we remain creatively open? Where does our inspiration come from? How can we embrace our negative selves? What can we say to our internal judges and critics? How can we best share our creativity? Like the poet Maya Angelou, I think that each one of us is born with creativity, that we come from the Creator with creativity. For millennia, people understood art to be a gateway to spirit, and spirit to be at work in art. But has art been demoted to a avocation or hobby as industry and capital began to determine what is of value? Is there a difference between the Mona Lisa and an ad campaign for chocolate? What about the Sistine Chapel and a Maserati? Or more specifically, a painter who paints an original painting versus a painter who creates a perfect copy of an original, but with his or her own twist. Does the latter require creativity? And if we say it does, would we also consider it art? At its core, being creative is about expressing yourself and connecting with others on a deeper level. For many of us, it's easy to neglect our artistic and creative side as we go about our daily lives. However, to do this work, we need nourishing, planting, weeding, tending. However, it might be helpful to first expand our assumptions about what is creative. Think about cooking, storytelling, decorating, or gardening. All of these are creative acts. All of these bring into being something that would not naturally have emerged. For that matter, think about starting a friendship, rearing a child, or nurturing a long-term relationship. These too are acts of creation. There's no blueprint to follow, no instruction book with step-by-step directions. Healthy, loving relationships require you to respond in the moment, to make it up as you go along, to take what's in front of you and transform it. In other words, they require you to create. So all of us are, in fact, creative. Yet even if we limit ourselves to thinking of creation in the terms with which most of us are familiar, that is, artistic creation, we still can claim our own as creative beings. Not everyone will compose music as well as Duke Ellington, or write poetry like Nikki Giovanni, or paint like Georgia O'Keeffe. But why should that be our goal? What if we detached ourselves from the outcome and instead focus on the process? Like some of us did with the Earth Day dioramas we finished a few weeks ago. Our attachment to outcomes is a problem that hinders more than just our ability to express ourselves creatively. Over and over again in our lives, this issue is a stumbling block. It could even be said that the core of the spiritual traditions of humankind is the encouragement to become free from such attachments. Worrying about how someone will respond, the outcome keeps us from speaking up. Concern about failure keeps us from taking risk and trying something new. Again and again, we find ourselves hampered by our attachment to the outcome of a given situation. One way in which art can be especially powerful is when it reflects our personal experiences and values. For the ones who make art, art actually reflects their souls. Artists may not necessarily think of their work as spiritual or transpersonal, but artistic expression can be seen as the personal search for ultimate meaning. For example, the revelation of the divine in human nature and in the world. What remains deep inside of us comes out when we make art. Through art, we can talk about things that we never imagined sharing with someone. Art reflects our most honest self, our pains that we try to hide from the world. Moreover, by connecting with a piece of art that speaks to our values, we can often feel a strong emotional connection with it that enables us to recognize ourselves. April 21st was World Creativity and Innovation Day. The goal is to relight that creative and artistic spark for the sake of sustainability, from artistic expression to problem solving in the context of economic, social, and sustainable development. The United Nations designated this day to raise awareness of the role of creativity and innovation in all aspects of human development. Because art and creativity plays a significant role in society and sustainability. Visual art, music, theater, and other creative forms help raise awareness about environmental issues and inspire people to take action. Art and creativity is becoming increasingly relevant in the context of sustainability because they help us connect with nature, understand the impacts of our actions, and develop new solutions to our challenges. We can explore the beauty and diversity of the natural world and the impact of people on our environment. By encouraging innovation and out-of-the-box thinking, we can also find new, more efficient ways to use resources and reduce waste. Art and creativity is a platform for artists to express their political views and create visual representations of their messages. Using art as protest has been a long-standing tradition throughout history. As an example, there is an engraving of Paul Revere's iconic The Boston Massacre, which pits colonial Bostonians against British redcoats 5 years before the American Revolution. It's believed that this widely distributed engraving had a lot of influence in shaping public opinions supporting a revolution. Through its ability to capture human experience and provoke emotional responses, art can catalyze reflection and engagement. This helps individuals navigate complex issues and find new perspectives. Flood Wall Street Protest was a group of artists who painted the financial district of New York City blue to symbolize the threat of rising sea levels caused by climate change. This was a perfect protest to showcase what had not previously existed and is respected for the artist's creativity and potential for art to be used as a form of political activism, raising awareness about important issues. Once upon a time, the artwork spray painted on the walls of buildings in inner cities was considered vandalism. However, over time, through creativity and the development of new ideas, concepts, and possibilities, there's a shift that views art in a way like never before. For instance, there's a project based in San Francisco called the Clarion Alley Mural Project. The mission is to support and produce socially engaged and aesthetically innovative public art locally and globally. Most of us have seen pictures of the word love sculptured in huge block letters, featuring prominently in Philadelphia. Now, artist Robert Indiana first produced the design in 1964. He then lent it to the city of Philadelphia as part of the bicentennial in 1976. Not only does it still remain in the John F. Kennedy Plaza, also known as Love Plaza, it's a perfect representation for the city of brotherly love. Since then, it has been released in many different incarnations and sculptural versions that now appear in urban centers around the globe. Public art provides the community with direct and ongoing encounters with art. It engages social interaction both during the selection process and following selection. Using art as protest has also been a long-standing tradition throughout history. The Travis Park installation in San Antonio is a perfect example. In 2020, as part of a public program meant to show solidarity with nationwide protests taking place around the country at that time, Matt Brown, Centro San Antonio's CEO, created a giant canvas for local artists to tell their stories, or as he said, to put a conversation out there. It takes courageous patience and an unrelenting drive to challenge the status quo, coming up with innovative ideas and refining them until they work. Now, the words supplied by San Antonio Poet Laureate Andrea Vocab Sanderson read, "Jubilant and exuberant is the melanin of our skin. From despair we have risen." The artwork covers 3 of the 4 streets framing Travis Park, which now, through art and creativity, a lovely message surrounds a park that once held a Confederate statue. Every human has a unique perspective of the world. Everyone can create something original. Just like every person has a unique reflection in the mirror, all our creative expressions can be unique too. From my heart to yours, may it be so.